match is going to make it into day 2. We're going to see a Tarka Red here from Jim Picardo against Sigrist playing Esper Dragons.
A lot of Esper Dragons in the room. This is our first time seeing a Tarka Red on camera, which is a little bit surprising as it was the Pro Tour winning deck.
Perhaps it is not performing that well this weekend, as Picardo is going to play a copy of Zergo Bellstriker to get things underway. Sigrist will play a copy of Dismal Backwater. We are underway here in round number 9. Sigrist, of course, making the top 8 of Pro Tour Khans of Tarkir with Obzon Aggro.
Did a lot to put that deck on the map. It receded soon after the Pro Tour because Ariel Lax, of course, won with Obzon mid-range, and that matchup was quite bad for the aggro deck.
Zergo going to come across. Now here's a Dragon Fodder, so 2 Goblin tokens coming. A very nice start here for Picardo. Sigrist's draw was a Bile Blight, which isn't bad. The question is, does he have a Swamp to cast it? The answer is no, it's a Haven of the Spirit Dragon.
Those lands that you play for free, in quotes, do have a cost sometimes, and that's one of the matchups that really magnifies, are your lands coming to play untapped, and do they produce the right colors of mana right away?
It's time to get in the red zone. We're going to have ultimate price here in just a moment. You have to imagine on Zergo Bellstriker. So that'll take care of that. 2 damage will come across from the Dragon Fodder tokens. Sigrist down to 17. And just a passing of the turn. Sigrist will draw. I don't know if he has a third land. He might have to cast a card like Anticipate right now, and he will. So we'll take a look at the top 3 cards. Pluto Delta among them.
Very good news for Sigrist that Jim had no follow-up play the previous turn, indicating that his hand is either lands or burn spells, and Sigrist had a reasonably high life total right now.
2 cards will go to the bottom, 1 will go to the grip. Pluto Delta was the land that was selected. There is Delta. Pass that turn back. Beatdowns. Down to 12 goes Sigrist. Slumguard the draw. Ugh.
But again, you know, Jim is out of action.
It doesn't have a lot going on. I believe his hand right now is Stoke the Flames and a Wild Slash. Nothing all that impressive over there. Atarka's Command the draw. There's a land.
A lot of burn now in Jim's hand. He's got 9 points worth. He's got a Stoke, Atarka's Command, and a Wild Slash.
Here is Atarka's Command. This will probably draw out the Bile Blight from Mike.
And this is a bit of a freebie here for Jim, because he can set the mode to +1/+1 and deal 3 damage. Even if Mike has something like Bile Blight, it's not the end of the world. You still get your 3 points in. Something I will say that last turn, if I was in Jim's spot, I think I would have just cast the Stoke the Flames, because if he wins, he's probably going to barely eke it out.
Yeah.
And if his Stoke the Flames runs into a Disdainful Stroke that Mike happens to be playing in the main deck, Jim's likely to fall short. So with the shields down there, I think that's a spot where I would have just gone ahead and used the Stoke the Flames.
Bile Blight will take care of those Goblin tokens. The Atarka's Command will still deal 3 points of damage, however. Sigrist down to 9.
Thoughtseize is another consideration. You just don't want to get jammed up with cards in your hand.
Swamp was the draw. Swamp is what Sigrist will play. The problem, I think, with the Esper Dragon stack is here's a Wild Slash. At least the way that Mike's hand looks right now, it's just the closing speed of the deck. It's very slow.
Yes, it's going to take him a long time to actually win the game from the spot where he does something impactful.
His mana has just been a touch awkward here, too. There's a Dismal Backwater. It's going to bring him up a little bit higher, but you saw Jace's Ingenuity. He doesn't have a second blue mana to cast it. Here's Stoke the Flames. The draw for Picardo.
I believe it was a Wild Slash, so that Dismal Backwater was right on time.
Yeah, no kidding. See if Sigrist wants to maybe try to deploy a dragon here. He'll just pass the turn back. Wild Slash going to go upstairs. Mike's down to 1. Can Picardo finish him off? He'll draw. There's a Monster Swiss Beard.
Okay.
That's technically good enough.
This is lethal.
Okay, there's Slumguard scored.
All right, this is not a bad sign for Jim. He got a counterspell.
Yeah.
Means you're drawing live with your burn spells.
Temple was the draw. Take a look at the top card. Quickly becomes the bottom card for Sigrist. Mike gonna tap out here for a dragon. I think he has to now.
Yep.
Cross your fingers, hope for the best. Your best is not good enough. A Stoke the Flames will get the job done there for Jim Picardo. Up a game here over Mike Sigrist. A Tarka Red very quickly up a game over Esper Dragons.
A matchup that does not feel great to me for the Esper side of the table, game 1. And Jim there, not even with a particularly good draw, though I assume Mike has a lot in the sideboard to shore it up.
Well, he's got 2 Dragonlord Slumgars, 3 Drowning Sorrows, 2 Stratus Dancers, a Thoughtseize of Duress, a Negate, a Tasker the Golden Fang, 2 Dragonlord's Prerogative, and 2 Ultimate Price, so he's certainly able to lower his curve.
Yeah, really like bringing the Ultimate Prices here, the Drowning Sorrows. I think the Tasker is also a great threat here because Mike wants to get in a spot where he can play something impactful for 1 mana or 2 mana and hold up a counterspell or removal shield. So I think those are really important for him as well.
What do we see on the other side?
3 copies of Destructive Revelry, 3 copies of Arc Lightning, 3 copies of Searing Blood, a Roast, a Magnetic Chasm, a Collateral Damage, and a Scouring Sands. Not a lot to like here. I think the 1 copy of Collateral Damage is fine to bring in a matchup where your opponent has a lot of removal, but I think the sideboarding here is going to be pretty light.
Things certainly do change for Mike here, though. Game 1, I think, is really bad news, but Game 2 and Game 3, I think he can win.
It's possible that Jim will bring in something like Destructive Revelry, hoping he tags something like Perilous Vault or some other stray enchantment or artifact that Mike might be happening to bring in. He does have some low-impact cards. He's got the 4 copies of Wild Slash. They're going to be doing very little in any case, but Jim would not much action for this matchup. Often you'll see things like, Eidolon the Great Revel is a nice sideboard card for matchups like this. There's a couple of other options as well, but Jim really leaning on the fact that he's got a great game 1 and hopefully can just squeeze out one of the sideboarding games.
Well, we will talk very quickly about the SCG Spring Sale that is taking place. New items added every day at 11 a.m.
Yeah, and there's a variety of items that go on sale. Individual cards, sealed product, sleeves, and deck boxes, all sorts of stuff. Gets updated every day, 11 o'clock Eastern time. I actually did a little sale shopping myself earlier in this week, and these get updated throughout the entire week. So worth checking out. Head over to StarCityGames.com. It's all over the place what goes on sale. Random categories all the time, so you should check in every day and see what goes on sale because there's some good deals and all sorts of stuff goes on sale.
So it's just a surprise.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to come. The land day, I know, was a big hitter.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people like that day, yourself included.
I teed off on land day. Picked up some stuff.
Good.
Had some store credit in the account. Now I'm broke.
Rough life.
Yeah, that's true.
It's really tough.
Got to build it back up.
Day by day. Spring sale is going to be available till the end of the month, so do enjoy that at Star City Games. These players are going to very quickly get ready here for game number 2. Jim going to mulligan his hand. Looks like Mike will be doing the same, so both players can take a look at 6 cards.
I really have enjoyed the fact that Mike Sigrist is back in a big way because when I was growing up and PTQing in New Jersey, obviously there was a rivalry between the New York, New Jersey players and the Connecticut, Massachusetts, rest of the New England crew. Mike was always a guy that I liked in spite of being from New England, and he was just very good. Just a lot of natural talent. I think a player who didn't have a lot of high-profile success, and so people just didn't really know when Mike was kind of coming back and playing competitively how good he was. But then a Grand Prix win, a Pro Tour top 4, a lot of really good finishes, and now he's just back in a big way, celebrated and gets the respect that he deserves.
None of this stuff is his success, no accident.
No. No one who knew him back in the day has been surprised by what happened.
Yeah. Top card going to go to the bottom there for Sigrist. As game number 2 underway, both players have found opening hands that they like. There's a mountain. Here's a Zergo Bell Striker. Kick it back.
And you see some of the problem for Jim in the matchup here with the Lightning Strike in hand. Not the Lightning Strike's the end of the world in this kind of matchup, and we saw Jim able to burn Mike out, but the problem when you have a lot of Lightning Strikes and Wild Slashes in your deck is if Mike hits you with a Drowning Sorrow or is able to just sort of ultimate price and Hero's Downfall your initial plays, you end up in a spot where, Mike's at 11, you've got 6 points of burn in your hand, and you're sort of at the mercy of how many counterspells he's able to put together. It's not where you want to be.
There's a Dragon Fodder. Somebody's looking for Drowning Sorrow. See if Mike has it here. He's got a Temple of Enlightenment. We see that. Foul-tongue Invocation over there as well.
Which has just lost a lot of its upside.
To say the least.
Killing a token and gaining 3 still can be fine in terms of Mike getting the time to get to things like, Slumgar and his other big plays, but it's gotten a lot worse.
There's Temple, top card. Very quickly becomes the bottom card. Pass that turn back. There's a land. So Picardo, mana not going to be an issue here. Here's the attack for 4.
It's going to be quite a bit more.
Boy. This is where Tarka's command looks insane.
And I like choosing this as the spot. Mike did nothing last turn to answer your fodder tokens or your Zergo. He played a land that comes into play tapped, so that indicates that was a good chance that was his draw. So that's a good time to just deal a ton of damage.
There's a temple.
And I believe Mike with no dragon in hand to pair with his Foul Tongue Invocation. So now this card's gotten really bad.
Yeah, it's an expensive edict effect now.
So you can see why he scried so fast. It's very clear what he's looking for at this point. Either a Drowned Sorrow or a dragon to pair with his Foul Tongue Invocation.
Yep. And it doesn't look like he has either one of those things at this point.
And now it's not even clear how much help a dragon does, because he's going to get knocked down to 5, even with an edict this turn, and might just get burned out.
Top card went to the bottom. There's Wild Slash. Wasn't sure if Picardo was going to leave those in or not, but it's clear that he has.
Well, he has so few cards to bring in that he kind of has to leave in these kind of cards, and now we're in the spot where it's going to be good, because Mike's low, and I think these burn spells might close it out.
There is an attack. Here's a Foul Tongue Invocation. Sacrifice there. I believe take 3 points of damage, and the Lightning Strike is going to do it, and that will do it. Jim Picardo is going to win this match over Mike Sigrist. Tarka Red will take care of Esper Dragons. It's a good matchup there for a Tarka Red, and Jim made it look pretty easy.
Yeah, Mike mulliganed into a functional hand, but the Dragon Fodder was too bad, because his hand was he was hoping to bridge the gap there was those Foul Tongue Invocations. He never found a dragon to pair with them, and Dragon Fodder was just too efficient in that spot.
Congratulations, Jim Picardo, who should make day 2 now because of that win.
We'll have to see how the tiebreakers shake out. By the looks of our players to watch coming into the round, X and 3 should be good, but by no means a lock. We'll see how it plays out.
Well, our next match here